And I feel like we really need to play the Colorless Eldrazi deck. Hold on, sorry. Oh, here it is. So I update because I think our list is getting really good, and like I'm thinking that Emrakul is still kind of suboptimal in the Eldrazi Tron list. I think the Emrakul plan is good, but you just have to play like five more mana sources than you want to, or four more mana sources than you want to, and a cookbook. And this is to play Emrakul, which is also can make your deck kind of clunky. And so we're playing mostly like at this point we're mostly just playing like four less lands, no Urza Saga, no cookbook, so we get to play 23 lands with all these expedition maps. Just so awkward to play like 26, 27 plus the expedition maps. And we're playing Breaker of Creations, which has just been Breaker of Creations has been my favorite card recently. Um, but last time we played the deck, we had Karns in the sideboard for the Eldrazi Mirror, just trying like no Karns in the main. It seemed pretty reasonable to not have them, but I think it'll be better to have them in the main. So let me get this ready to go real quick. Do you like have your Jessica control maxing sub and force more or more traditionalist with Solitude and non-PT meta? I'm closer to Javier's deck for sure. I don't think Solitude is very good at the moment. Not on your critter cut? Yeah, we're on Aspiring Spike, unless we need new cards for now. Okay, so not getting 4-1, sorry, believers. So here's the current list. That is one nice upside to the creator count is getting to switch over really fast. But just break lead, no Saga, no Emrakul, 4 Breaker, 4 Kozilek's Command, 2 All Is Dust now, still on 4 Chalice. I think it's a very good Chalice deck. Back on Karn. Keep. Turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, maybe turn 3 Karn. Maybe turn 2 Karn if I find another Labyrinth, which I guess would be the main thing I'd be looking for here. So like Labyrinth, Kozilek's Command, probably the top two. So let's Kozilek's Command first, and then if I see another lab, which I don't, yeah, let's just go ahead and keep the Kozilek's Command on top. I know I'm drawing Kozilek's Command, so I might as well do this. So if they grief scam me, they can't keep me off the Labyrinth. I've looked into a Johnny plus Rin and 6. Seems like a good package in a mid-range deck. I don't know. It's just like Boros is just so fast and efficient, and the mana is so good. We did play Naya yesterday. You could play Ren and 6 in that list, but I don't really agree that like turn to a Johnny and then pinging your token with the Johnny is like, or pinging your token with your Ren and 6 is much better than like other stuff that's going on. Ooh, they're beseeming probably. So I have a turn 1 Emery, which I can't Kozilek's Command. It looks like they're playing our challenge list. So I think I should probably still Kozilek's Command, because like casting Karn next turn seems pretty high priority. And I built their deck, and we know that they don't have non-force negation counterspell, so maybe I'll just upkeep the Kozilek's Command. Can't you kill Emery? No, Emery costs 3. I can X equals 2. This Kozilek's Command the best card in Modern. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best card in Modern, but it is incredibly good. Maybe just Devour next turn. Let's see what they do. But Devourer doesn't get subtletied or forced as hard as Karn does. They don't have a second land, which means that we're probably going to be pretty locked in on just casting Devourer here. Though now I can go Thought-Knot Seer plus Karn. So if they have, you know, multiple pitch cards, this is a bit worse. It has to be multiple force of negations at this point. What I say is the best card in Modern besides Nadu. Oh, they definitely should have subtletied here. Shuko. So we are going to get our Thought-Knot Seer Fatal Push next turn. Is there anything that's just lights out for them? Trinisphere seems really gnarly in this spot, I guess. Leveler seems good. Coating seems good. Alright. It's all good. Alright, so we're on the draw against a deck that doesn't really care about... Or we don't need to worry about Void Mirror. We don't need to worry about Field of Ruin because they built their deck, so we can just bring in the Gemstone Caverns kind of cleanly. And then I'm going to bring in the Dismembers. They don't really play many 1-drops. It's like Tamiyo, Fatal Push, Consign in the sideboard, so maybe want some. I might even like bring in Trinisphere. All of this is kind of weird. I mean, some all of this are probably good. 3 is a good number. I could maybe bring in the 3rd. Or just 2. I mean, Ugin's Labyrinth has been really crazy. Chalice and 0 is pretty good against them. Not on the draw so much. But yeah, maybe second. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you want 2 copies of Chalice. I built their deck and they don't play that many relevant 1-drops. Like, Chalice isn't even that good against Consign. Any chance Deppy Matrix would make sense on the side over Cursed Totem to light out Shukas or such? Well, the thing is, you're going to Karn for Cursed Totem, right? Okay, well, keeping this. You're going to Karn for Cursed Totem. And so if you have Karn in play, it stops Shuko, and then Cursed Totem stops Outriders and the rest of the stuff. So I don't think you need to play Damping Matrix. Also, Matrix turns off your ring. It turns off your, I guess, just ring. Do you have any ways to counter Void Mirror? I have a Swamp in the main and a Swamp in the side. And Expedition maps to get them. But they're not playing Void Mirror. Or they shouldn't be playing Void Mirror. Basim! I think this is my first time being on this side of the Basim. We'll let them have Basim for a turn. No 0. Let's go ahead and main phase this. And they called it a mine. A mine. Yeah, it could be good to main deck Void Mirror to name Basim. Do they have a ring? They have a ring that gets to flip Tamiyo also. An Emry. And a Damping Sphere. That's pretty bad. Basim is basically your deck, right? Anyone who's playing before me? I mean, the card... I built this deck, yeah. But it also, like, just came out. But I did build this deck. Interesting. I guess they just want to have the card off Basim. It's kind of awkward with their Damping Sphere. Makes a Saga token. Doesn't seem like they've got that much going on. Yeah, I think I actually want to go mine. Like getting the Mind Stone down is like just so important against the Damping Sphere. And I want to exile the Basim in their upkeep and then make 2 more spawns. And then I could take a hit from a construct and then get the ring going and then maybe find Karns and Breakers and stuff. Yeah, I might have been playing Basim before the general community knew that Assassin's Creed is legal in Modern. So we know if Forsaken Monument gets around Damping Sphere reduction. I think it does not. I was looking at a Forsaken Monument Fleshraker deck yesterday. And I was also looking at playing... Maybe I won't say this other card. I'll keep that one for myself. Missed 1 mana from Temple. There's a Damping Sphere in play, which is why my Tron lands are also not tapping for extra mana. Well, I guess I'm not blocking. Go to 6. I do have 2 rings. Not the worst. Has anyone taken an idea from you when you put it out there like that and made it before you went public? Lamau. I guess I don't know exactly what you're asking, but the entire reason I stream is is that I enjoy sharing deck ideas, and I don't really believe I own any of this stuff, but also like, no, I guess I can't play my second ring. But also like, I don't know how anybody would take something from me before I made it public, right? Because I'm a content creator. I play the decks for the first time on stream. I mean, you said I keep that for myself. I was wondering if that happened before when you mentioned cards someone else built it. Oh, I don't think so. But the card is just really sweet, and I don't think the deck will be that good, but I'm keeping it for myself for now. I see what you're saying, though. Okay, so we'll keep this. Hopefully we can, like, Thought-Knot Seer or Damping Seer or something. Looking for labs. Looking for Eldrazi Temples. Lab would be the best by a lot, though. Put us on a mold to 6. Second Kozilek's Command. Sea Gate Wreckage. I think I'd rather have second Kozilek's Command. Could also just take nothing there, but I'm gonna cast a Kozilek's Command next turn probably, and I would think that the next one in hand will be good enough. Love for them to Tomio turn 1, but not complain about them doing nothing either. Yeah, it's definitely happened many times that I've especially because like a lot of what I do is just work on new cards. There's a lot of people having similar ideas. There's one person who like I remember one time was there someone got really mad and said I stole their deck, and they linked like this tweet that to a deck list with like 12 views that was also like the deck was like maybe 20 cards different from the deck that I was playing that day. That number may be a little off, but it was many cards off from from their list, and had like 12 views on Twitter or something, and like Spike's on my list. And I just want to say I'm sorry for stealing the deck. Do they pitch? Subtlety. Right, you got another pitch card. I guess I could probably afford to just play a Seer here. Especially because Hardcast Force Negation would be pretty tough for me here. Yeah, I'll just take the Force Negation because they don't have a land for the ring, but if they had a land for the ring, then our Karn just turns their ring off. And it's kind of better for us than making a Saga token because of that. What do you think of straight up affinity with no kappa? So I would like to first pause and say I'm sorry, dear affinity player, that you've entered what I need to coin this term, the affinity spiral. Oh my gosh, I meant to click clothing. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's okay. Karn will be so good here. I did mean to grab coding, but you've entered what I like to call the affinity spiral, where you're losing a lot with affinity. Sorry for just inferring that, but losing a lot with affinity, and like, this isn't working with Kappa Cannoneer. You know what the answer is? No Kappa Cannoneer. And I was like, you know what it is? Flesh Raker with all the Mirror Retrievers and Ring and Mystic Forge. That was the build I was playing, and I'm like, man, this build is sick, and it was sick, and it wasn't good. But it's like, Affinity is just a bad deck. It is slow, it is fragile, and it's easy to disrupt. And this is a bad combination. This is not a winning combination. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you know, I only know this because I've also been trapped in the affinity spiral of just trying to figure it out, but it is not a good deck. Kind of don't hate just having land, I guess. Do you run Sagas in the deck? No. So the big thing about this build compared to the stock Tron list is we're not playing Saga, we're not playing Emrakul, which makes our curve lower. We're a little less clunky, and we don't have way too many mana sources in the deck, which is kind of the issue with Emrakul and the stock builds, right? Very funny that I grabbed this. So good news is I built their deck and they can't really do much about Karn in this position. I mean they needled it, but like they're just gonna die to their ring. Oh shit! I forgot about that one. Huh. Well, if that is not the best card here, I tell you what. So they grab a Haywire Might, which they'll be able to use to kill my bridge after they kill my Karn. Yeah, pride cometh before the fall. Three cards in their hand. Basim. So I can attack here before I play Devourer. I'm gonna go after the Basim first, I guess. Coating would have won the game here. Yeah, if we got Coating, we couldn't have lost, but misclicks are part of the stream. It is what it is. Resolve Devour is pretty good against them here because their removal spells are like just push. But they have a consign. Did you know you need to play other Tron lands for it to work? Well, wouldn't be doing a lot against double Damping Sphere, I guess. Coating might not have won. They needle the Karn immediately anyways. That's true, but they wouldn't have been able to cast the Subtlety if I had been doing the thing. Although I guess I wouldn't have been able to stop the Subtlety maybe if they upkeeped it. Do you select Trinisphere Mono Green Eldrazi? Yeah, it works really well in that deck because you have so much mana denial. It functions pretty well. It's kind of like your Blood Moon, and think of it as a Ponza deck where you're just like, you have a lot of ways to get them off their mana. I think I'm gonna go map for Sea Gate and then play Karn. Dewdrop. I don't think I've seen Dewdrop. Maybe I have. Oh no, did I exile it? Oh, I did exile it. Karn grab bridge from exile. There's a needle on Karn, but I'm playing it to turn off the ring and I guess the tokens. But yeah, if they have a counterspell, it's obviously not ideal. Hoping to draw a Breaker of Creation. That could be good. I'm gonna get to flip their Tamio though. The 2 white Reanimate Soul with Gift. I mean, that card's interesting. It's probably worse than Savine's Wreck a lot of the time. Thinking Bobby with the 15 months. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. I'm excited for the chance of a good rat being printed in Bloomburrow. Long awaited rat tribal. Yeah, we'll see if they finally let us have the ability to 2-3 a league with rat tribal. Yeah, I don't know. Probably like worse than Sabine's Rack in most decks, which is a card I really need to register at some point. So they're trying to play another card, but they got double Damping Sphere, but they are able to play this Mox to cycle. So if I don't kill the Tamio, they can pick up this Consign, which would be tough. Wow, 1 mana Emery with double Damping Sphere on 2. Okay, then there's a ring for them to survive next turn after they take 4 here. Let me go ahead and draw a card, because there's not really any reason to not. Oh, sorry. I should have gone after the Emery. I don't know why I'm like so scared of this. The Tamio. Guess they could have countered the trigger anyways. With them being at 1, their rings are not doing that much. I guess they're still good because they get to draw. I guess they don't get to draw a card at all. But the Basim might kill me kind of quick. Basim is still drawing a card every turn. Yeah, I guess killing the Tamio was still good. Can you replicate with Sphere out? Yeah. Sphere doesn't affect replicate at all. Me having exiled my Sea Gate Wreckage was pretty tough here. Why didn't we attack? They had a good double block, I think. Oh, yeah, they can draw one per ring right before they replay the other one. They grab Haywire Might. They exile my Mind Stone, which is a good play. I'm assuming they have another ring in their hand, but can they cast it? Cost 6. They have 6? I think they only have 4, right? They have 5. I guess they have 5 with this, but it's not 6. I think they just killed themselves unless they have another consign. Oh, there's a land. Okay, but do they have an island to fetch still? No, they don't, or they don't if they're playing my list. I think they may have fucked this up. If they're playing my 75, there's not a third basic. So now they have to consign. So one thing that's interesting here is if we can get our opponent, so like, I guess they don't have to counter my Kozilek's command, huh? But the consign makes their next spell cost 2 more. We'll just see what happens. I'm not gonna play anything right now. So they're gonna consign this trigger presumably, or they're gonna like tap the ring to look for their third consign if they don't already have one in their hand. And then if my opponent, I may go for like a big graveyard exile here, so their Emery is worse. But they probably can't play anything with Emery if they're just gonna play another ring. And we should be able to resolve we will be able to resolve our Kozilek's command. And I think just making a bunch of spawns will be right. Yeah, I thought the spheres were a little bit awkward in the sideboard of the deck. When I was playing it. I don't know if I'd still play more than 1 or 2. Okay, so scry 7, make 7 spawns, draw a card. Hopefully can double spell this next turn. So I'm definitely keeping this Breaker of Creation. Is the All is Dust even... I don't even think I can double spell with it, and I don't even know that it's that good. It's definitely not that bad. It's probably better than the average draw here. I think I want to try to like a proactively double spell, find something else. Counts, I guess. So I'm going to gain 16, assuming they don't consign this trigger, but they've already used 3 consigns. $27 life points. 0 consigns left in their deck. 5 cards in their hand. Not ideal. What's how opponent about consign secret replicate ability when game ends? Probably not. I'm not usually one for unsolicited advice. Mitsubishi was good. It seemed fine. We 3-2'd. I would play it again. Seemed like a good first draft. So 7 cards in their hand now. Found another Saga finally. Hopefully we can keep drawing relevant cards. I think we only have 1 Kozilek's command left. We still have 3 Breaker of Creations. We have 3 Rings. We have Karn, which is still needled. Seems like Breaker Creation or Karn would be the most desirable by a lot. Can't quite kill them. I would probably just have to attack Tamiyo so they don't pick up another consign. My opponent is main phasing a Subtlety and then moving Shadow Spear over. So I guess Allah's Dust could be good at this point. Although I bottomed one of my 2 Allah's Dusts, so yeah, I did put 5 bad or 7 bad ones. I think it was 5. We bottomed 5 when we commanded. They did get a few more draws to find another Force of Negation, but they don't have that many Force of Negations left in the deck anyways. This is a good old 4-mana Mind Stone. It's gonna crack it. So I'm gonna get to pick. It's an interesting game. Still battling for sure. Second All Dust is exiled. Oh yeah, did I Breaker All Dust number 2? Looks like no. Looks like there's still 1 in the deck, or 2 in the deck. 1 scried towards the bottom. Been loving the Green Eldrazi content. Beat my Netflix and watch hours. You get the sub over, then I get to, I guess. Well, thank you so much. It's very nice of you. Not a lot good on Netflix at the moment, too, I think. When you lose to someone playing your deck, do you count as a W? Would that be counting a lot? As W's pretty often. Did I bring in Third Eldrazi? No, I decided just to play 2. I did consider it, though. Wow, he assembled Tron. Alright, so I guess we start with the Mind Stone, right? We're probably going to be sacrificing this to a consign. Still have 3 more Breaker of Creations in the deck to draw into. Could be good to play and crack this map now, honestly, but let's just play Ring. Because it just shuffle that All's Dust back in. But there's also like 4 bad ones, or 5 bad ones we also put on the bottom. And then I'm going to attack with the Thought-Knot Seer. And probably trade it for this Subtlety. Opponent only has 9 cards in their deck still. Like if I just draw one of my other 3 breakers and they've used 5, they've used the stupid, oh no, fuck, I forgot about the Saga token. That was pretty bad. Hitachi, thanks for the raid. Hope you're doing well. You come right in time to see me make a pretty big blunder. Yeah, House of the Dragons has been pretty good. Pretty into that. Me and Esther are also watching the Acolyte Star Wars show, and that's been pretty bad. It's just all of these stupid Star Wars shows have like the concept seems interesting. They get me in, and then it just the writing and the acting is so bad. And in that show specifically, there's so much like subtext that's going on with the Force. Like so many characters are like trying to probe each other's mind with the Force and stuff, but the acting is just not very good. And it's like really not obvious what's happening. You know. Esther's been like I told Esther that there's a lot of she's like, wait, they're not talking because they're like the Force is going on. She's been so confused. The first 3 episodes were so bad. Yeah, the first 3 were really bad. Episode 4 I thought was really good. There were 2 good episodes. There were 2 good episodes of The Acolyte. I can't remember which ones they were, I guess, but there were 2 good ones. Okay, so this is 13 plus 7 for 20 damage. If I absorb 4 of it, I go to 2, and then I die to my ring exactly. So, big punch with the Thought-Knot Seer. Oh wait, I miscounted. Let's go. Yeah, I still haven't seen all of Andor. I honestly think it's kind of overhyped from just everyone. And Andor is not as good as everyone makes it out. I think it makes it out to be, but it seems to be watchable. And so, at the very least, the show is just not. It doesn't seem to be this masterpiece, incredible show that it's just so overhyped. I think I don't doubt that it's good. You know, I don't doubt that it's good, but um, the amount of like, we're gonna take Kozilek's command here. The degree to which people are hyping it up, it has not been matching the quality of the show that I was watching, at least. It is very good, but it's not for you. I mean, I want to finish it at some point. I intend to finish it, but if your first 3 or 4 episodes are very slow and boring, you just aren't the greatest show of all time, like people will say it is. But I'm sure it's fine. GG's Dreef. Literally isn't good to episode 5, yeah. I gave it 4 episodes. Now we're talking about Andor. The Acolyte's been pretty bad. I think the 7 episodes are out. I think there have been 2 good episodes out of those 7. And the last one was so bad. There's so much characters doing like long pauses. So much like long pauses that are like they're like probing each other's minds with the Force, but the acting is just so bad. You can't tell what they're thinking. I don't know. And the writing isn't very good, and the dialogue isn't good, and the concept was not that bad, I thought. I think the casting was pretty fine. They're probably playing Aetherworks Marvel. I'll just hold up the command, I guess. Would your kid like it? They aren't born yet. Yeah, maybe. So about Ahsoka, a lot of bad acting. I actually really liked Ahsoka, if I'm gonna be honest, but I thought the last episode wasn't great. Give me a trilogy for Evan, that would be sick. We'll see. See if anything ever happens with Star Wars. Alright, let's go exile their graveyard and then make a couple spawns. Get to play a big old breaker next turn, maybe. Can I ask how you feel about the power of love Ugin's Lab after I'm playing it? Has it underperformed or overperformed? The card's really good. I don't know if I'd say under or overperformed, but the card is very good. It is a particularly format-defining card, and it also just only gets better the more like imprintables they print. All of your hands that have Ugin's Labyrinth are just like so much significantly better than all of your hands that don't. Card's great. Alright. Just Hexproof Annihilator 2. Tough to beat. Alright, on the draw, I'm going to bring in my Swamp for Besiju. And then I'm going to bring in Gemstone Caverns, probably just as like an extra land. And then I'm going to cut the Chalice. I'm going to bring in the Emrakul. I'm going to cut another Chalice. Why are they playing a Tune with Aether? They might not just be 4-color Omnath. These Chalices are just probably not very good. Bring in the third All's Dust. Can play 1 Dismember. I don't think I want the Chalices. Could just bring in Sundering Titan. I'll leave it for Karn. If the main character killing a couple cops, then dealing with the fallout from that is slow and boring first couple episodes, then maybe something more flashing lights is for you. I'm sorry I didn't like your favorite show. But yeah, it is kind of boring, right? Like you have one like I felt like it's just like the main character has like this permanent like he looks like this the whole show, and he's just like it's just like oh it's just so obvious I don't trust you yet, I don't trust you yet, I don't trust you yet, but I'm gonna trust you later in the show. I don't trust you. It's just so boring. But I like shows with lots of dialogue. I've been loving House of the Dragon, which is like all dialogue. I've been loving House of the Dragon, which is just entirely dialogue, but I didn't find Andor very interesting. But I'm sure it gets good. I'm gonna say no to all these, I guess. But this isn't, a Twitter thread where you get to go, where you get to try to dunk on me. You're I'm sorry I didn't like your Andor. Yeah, no House of the Dragon spoilers in the chat. House of the Dragon's my attention. I keep watching, feeling unfulfilled each time episode ends. I've been loving it, but it's okay. It's again, everybody likes different stuff. Everybody likes different shows. Remember, I used to watch a lot of Jim Davis back before I was streaming, and he would always like I'm not gonna. The one thing I won't talk about is Star Wars. People have too strong opinions. I'll just do this now. You have tight binder. So why don't we go Mindstone, Karn for Sundering Titan? I guess we can also play the map. Sure. His username is Teferi Man. Any interest in season 2 of Lord of the Rings coming out next month? I also didn't like Lord of the Rings season 1 very much. I'll probably watch it. I mean, I like it. We'll see if they did it, or maybe I'll wait for reviews to see if it's better. I liked the first 2 episodes of Lord of the Rings a lot. Last season, I thought it got kind of boring again. It's fine. We only have 1 card type in our yard, all artifacts. Sorry for all the TV talk to all the people who are only here to watch me play Magic. Not a lot going on in this game, though. Not too often you just get like 3 for 1 on turn 3, and you're like, well, I could never lose this game. See a Black Owl card inspired by Star Trek Next Generation episode. I did not. I've not seen that many episodes of Star Trek Next Generation. I grew up as a Voyager fan. Right. Can my opponent deal with this Sundering Titan? Okay, on the play. Maybe a more interesting game this time. Looks like we got Chalice on 1 on turn 1. I'm either keeping Mind Stone or I think I'm just gonna say no to all of these. Show me how to say no to this. Could draw a Karn, could draw a Thought-Knot Seer, could draw a Ring. Guess you need those next turn. Esther was playing some Hamilton yesterday. It's been a while since I've listened to it. Opponent pretty stuck on their first turn upkeep here. They've lost connection to the game. Where's the chatter who was really upset about Andor? Did they say anything else? Now that it's time to goof off. I can't find them. They get Mercy today, I guess. Andor goated. I'm right here. Oh, there he is. I mean, I'm sure Andor is good. I'm sure Andor gets good. But listen, y'all. The first 4, there's a very slow start. It's not the greatest show of all time, like people act like it is. It was overhyped for me, I think. Okay, opponent's back. Drew Thought-Knot Seer. Is Chalice better than Trinisphere in current meta? So I think Chalice is better in E-Tron, and then Trinisphere is better in the green Eldrazi deck, where that deck just has a lot of land destructions that complements Trinisphere against every deck, and then this one wants to be able to just put Chalice on different numbers. The Boys. I've been liking the new season of The Boys. I don't think it's been as good as the other seasons so far. Last episode was maybe the worst episode of the series, honestly, but it's been. Surveilling before cracking that Vista. Also, does Vista mean that they're playing main deck Harbinger? That would be really bad for me. Season 2, I like season 2. I don't know. I've liked all the seasons. I think this season is also good. I think all the seasons have been good. Gonna play a 4/4 Murktide, maybe? Maybe not. I think Phoenix's position in this meta. It's probably very bad against Nadu, and it's not. It was kind of a combo metagame, and Phoenix tends to be bad in combo metagames. Chalice or Mana Rocks and Tron? Both. Just play 4 both. So here's the thing. This build is just not playing Emrakul, so you get to play both. We're just playing Breaker over Emrakul, so you don't have to play Saga, you don't have to play Cookbook. You just have so much more room for activities. There's so much more room for stuff like this. Yeah, so yeah, Phoenix got Buried Alive. Buried Alive is fine, but it's also like you kind of have to play like Force of Negations in the deck to like just have the ability to like interact with your opponents. So I don't know. So they're gonna play Galvanic Discharge to grow their Murktide to be 6/6, which can trade with a Breaker of Creation. Okay, 7/7. Still just trades. Yeah, we've talked about Dewdrop Cure. This card is cool. I think it's gonna be worse than Savine's Wreck in a lot of modern decks. But it's like playable and passable. There may be a home for it too. Can't you get Devour back and exile the Merc? Not all in the same turn, because I only have 6 mana. Oh, I do have 7, okay. But I mean, it's just better also to play Breaker first, because I get to Annihilator too. I just get to gain so much life, I don't care about the Murktide hitting me. Yeah, Ugin's Lab is very crazy. Okay, I'm going to cut my Swamp, not expecting them to be on Void Mirror. I'm going to bring in Gemstone Caverns. Because they're on Vista, I do expect them to have Harbinger of the Tides. So I guess I'm going to bring in all of these, and then I don't know what we're cutting. Could maybe cut Seers. Scoop. Dude, Breaker is like just so tough for decks to beat. This card is so crazy good. It's just hexproof Annihilator too. I'm going to get to Devour their Murktide there too. It's just they just have no recourse. I think I'm able to just play Promised End over Thought-Knot Seer, and then it's just like they have any Unholy Heats or like creature removal spells are just gonna be pretty blank. Yeah, Promised End's pretty good against them too. Well, I got Tron. Why is that card legendary? They're obsessed with legends. This one? Yeah, it is interesting how many legendary cards they've been printing. I wonder if they could make like their own format where legendary cards could really shine. Okay, 3 mana, 3/3 menace. Whenever this deals combat damage to a player, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast the card by discarding a card rather than paying its mana cost. Mine Tower Power Plant. Wow. I'm on Green Eldrazi. I want 4 Devour and 4 Breaker of Creation, but I refuse to cut World Breaker. Well, that's kind of where we were at yesterday. Like, I would love to play all these cards. Yeah, you don't get to play all of them. You just get a tower now, I guess. Oh, they could have left it in play for one more life. Breaker of Creation is bad in Tron because it gains so few life. I don't know if you're joking, but it counts lands. I don't know if you knew it counted lands. I don't really see much reason to like. My opponent obviously has a Murktide in their hand. I don't want to like play this into a counterspell and let them Murktide. Seems like we can probably get to a spot where I can play 2 spells in the same turn. 4 lands is not as much as 6 or 7. I guess I'm confused what you're saying, but I don't know if you've watched this or not. But if you if like this on turn 4 is incredibly good. Gain 4 life, Annihilator 2 on turn 4 is something I'm taking all day, every day. But you also have Mind Stone, you also have Chalice, you also have Ring, you have other colorless permanents, and games go long, so I'm a little confused. No Breaker's great, I'm just making their point. I see, yeah. Fair enough. The longer we wait, the more we gain off this cast trigger. Yeah, dude, Ugin would be so wild if it was legal. It's also maybe bad to Dismember when I did because of the whole Harbinger situation. Alright, so this is 8 plus 6, 14, 15 mana. So I can't Mind Stone first, but let's just go ahead and go All Is Dust into Breaker. Why no one of Cavern of Souls? There's not a lot of room for utility lands in the deck. You need a basic in the main. I think like you could cut Gemstone Caverns. I'd rather play Gemstone Caverns. I think this deck is very good against counterspell decks as it is. All right, let's just go ahead and play this now. But we got them to use the Murktide already. Nice. I'll put that right back on top. As I gain 8 life. Can also Sea Gate Wreckage finally. Gain 10. Okay, we're 2 for 2 on opponents, or I guess not 2 for 3 on our opponents this league. Consigning Breaker and just saying, this is magic. Life gain doesn't matter. Life gain does not matter. We're not going to counter your 10 life. Put a card on top. It's a preordain. 1 on top, 1 on bottom. Go Sea Gate Wreckage. I'm not cracking the Mind Stones because I want to keep my hand empty and I don't want to draw too many lands. Also, the Mind Stones are good if they moon me. I can have 2 waste mana. Yeah, maybe Consigned is bugged. Yeah, don't really see any reason to do anything. What's nice is I've only drawn 1 action spell this game, so my deck is just all action. There we go. Guess I'll do maybe for just like 6 actually instead of this many. Flame of Anor in response. A little worried about invert polarity there. Draw a card. Another land. Gotta pass back. We still got so much action in the deck. Niall Sand, 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. Could have held priority on the cold commands to Sea Gate 2. I mean, whatever I scry into, I'm going to cast. Could be empty-handed there. We theoretically wanted to respond to Sea Gate. Yeah, I think this is fine, but we played it. I think they have 4 cards in there, and I guess they just drew 2 off Flame. Remember, chat, the upside to this build is we get to play 4 less lands than regular Eldrazi Tron. And 1 less cookbook. So we're not going to get flooded very often in this build. Still don't think I'm supposed to sack the Mind Stones yet. And the reason I'm not cracking Mind Stones because if we hit a glump of lands, we don't get to get our Sea Gate Wreckage back on, and we're just under no pressure, so we don't need to. What, cracking map? I think it's just better to have map in play for extra colorless permanent for life gain. But I'm chilling. I'm not in any kind of rush. I think I'll just hold this for now too. Play around double Spell Pierce. Yeah, Sea Gate's been pretty worth it so far. I was actually kind of hoping they'd invert polarity this time. Draz with 2 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Tamio. So now we are under a little pressure. I might sack a Mind Stone next turn. You just have exclamation point factor to get in. I'm going to eat some factor after the stream too. Again, not popping the stones because I don't want a clump of lands. I just want to draw a card every turn. And I'm under no pressure. Now that I'm under some pressure, I'm gonna crack Mind Stone. But I think while you're under no pressure, there's just not much point to not try to make sure you just get the Sea Gate going. Yeah, I don't think you need Cavernous Souls. You're just good in these matchups, and there's just not a land I'd prefer to play it over. All right, 2 cards in their hand. All right, mine's number 3. I mean, Chalice on 2 probably. Maybe still Chalice on 1. Stops them from flipping this Tamio as easily. 2 cards in their hand. Consider Desert, considering all the X1s. Assuming Sea Gate is better worth testing. I mean, I don't think Desert's really ever been that good. It's kind of interesting, but I wouldn't play it over Sea Gate. Finally found all the gas. They didn't crack Clue on their turn, though. That's pretty bad for me. I guess I should draw in response, because if I find another Kozilek's command, I can exile. How many cards? I probably drawn 7 cards off the Sea Gate this game. Chelsea 2 looking real good here. Expecting this one to also get countered because they didn't crack the Clue on their turn. Oh, wow. A resolved spell. Nearly unheard of. Thoughts on instead of banning the ring restricted instead? That's kind of a unique thought, restricting the ring. What would the reason to restrict the ring be? Is there like a flavor reason to restrict the ring? What? Why? What's the what? Would it just be so flavorful? It would just be so flavorful if we restricted the ring. It'd be so flavorful. Why Substitute with Tamiyo? Because Subtlety kills Karn, and Karn just turns off the clue tokens from Tamiyo. Alright. I think that they had Consign, and didn't realize they could cast it through the Chalice. Ever since the ring was printed, to really answer your question, ever since the ring was printed, I think an average of once a day, someone in my chat has said, why don't they just restrict the ring instead of banning it, or why don't they restrict the ring? Why don't they restrict the ring? Probably every day since it was printed, or since we discovered it was good. And I think it would have been really cool if that was how the card was printed. You could only have one copy. I think that would have been really cool if the ring was like in that form. When I saw it during consulting, maybe I would have given that feedback. When I saw it was consulting, it was 5 mana, do nothing, basically. Didn't draw cards, just so bad. But it just isn't like that, and I think it's just kind of silly. And also, like, another like mechanical thing that's really bad about restricting the ring is that you just buff every Karn the Great Creator deck because they get to play 4 copies of the ring still, basically. I don't think I was supposed to mulligan this hand. Pretty awkward too. Be chalicing here. Drawing third Chalice was particularly rough. Not being able to set ring is still a big nerf. Yeah, obviously it would be a big nerf, but it's also a big buff to Karn decks. And again, I'm against restricting cards in Modern. I think it's not the format to restrict stuff in. No matter how many likes you get on Twitter. Well, maybe you get enough. But I'm mostly just trying to say that I've heard this point a lot, and I'm just kind of over it, you know. But you can be in favor of restricting the ring. That's fine. So I think I've been cutting the Seers. Should cut the Seers again in this matchup. At least most of them. I don't know if I want the extra swamp. It's kind of nice with the Dismembers, I guess. They might have Void Mirror. They could have Void Mirror. So we could play 1 Seer. I could bring in something like this too. I could play 1 Seer. Let's see Voxy preview card. I don't know if I've seen hers, or I haven't specifically seen hers. I'll take a look if you take a look. Or I'll take a look if you give me a link. Okay, so turn 1 Chalice and 1 against Domain Zoo is going to be a keep for me. Main the 1 Trinisphere. Yeah, maybe boarding in the Trinisphere would be good. I kind of like that. Thoughts on adding Greaves in the sideboard. You have all these Eldrazi. Giving 1 haste seems good, and possibly cut a fatty. I don't know, because it's like, I don't think I want to cut, when you say a fatty, I assume you mean Cityscape Leveler, or I guess we're saying no to all these. Cityscape Leveler or Sundering Titan, but I don't really want to cut one of those cards, because it sounds like this pitch would be situationally good in the late game, right? But if we're in the late game, I'd just rather have a Cityscape Leveler or Sundering Titan most of the time. Like, Lightning Greaves is only good when you haste, like, specifically Breaker of Creation. Thoughts on Psychic Frog and Dimir Inverter? So Simon, who's one of our mods, has been working on that deck, and I think it sounds pretty good. I do think one big issue for Dimir Inverter is like a lack of good way to manage your graveyard, and Frog is like a really good card that also, of course, manages your graveyard. So I'm on board. I'm on board for this being a good thing to do. If you look at Voxy's card. You've pleaded, you've begged. Show Legendary Weasel. Oh, we did see this card though. I guess I didn't talk about it. It's cool. The infamous Cruel Claw. So 3/3 menace. When it deals combat damage to a player, exile cards on the top of your library. So you get to cascade to any card on top of your library. I'm going to dismember this and then hold command next turn. You get to cast any card on top of your library, and you discard a card instead of paying its mana cost, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool, pretty powerful. It is a 3-mana 3/3, and it doesn't let you put a card into your hand if it's targeted by a spell or ability twice a turn. So that's a problem for me with this one. They get a preview for the Fury set? No. I think I was maybe temporarily added to the preview list after some people complained about me not getting one for MH3, but I don't exactly expect to get preview cards with any regular frequency. Simply too controversial. It all dates back to me not liking Andor as a show. I think I'm actually going to scry make spawn so I can just devour next turn. Someone on whoever controls the preview card list seems to be an Andor fan. I guess Dismember plus Karn doesn't seem like a bad line last turn. Also, when I was consulting on Lord of the Rings, I didn't say, don't print it as a 4-mana artifact that taps to draw extra cards every turn and gives you pro everything. Don't do that. I didn't say that. That might have gone a long way. But if I had said that, I couldn't do this right now. Guys, Caverns in, I guess. Yeah, they heard me call the initial version do nothing, and they're very upset. Maybe it's a good thing you don't have to spoil the next Nadu. Spoiling Nadu would have been fun. What was the initial version? So one thing is I can't say what it did exactly. I'm like the one thing they're really not allowed to say when you talk about consulting is what cards used to be, because they maybe want to reuse designs. But it was so unmemorable. I couldn't tell you even if I wanted to, or it wasn't didn't sign an NDA. Because it was just truly unmemorable, truly just like 5 mana do nothing, 5 mana like not impact the board, and like it was a card that I think people would even have like not been able to play like for fun in EDH. It was so unimpactful, and I did give the feedback. Hey, this card is the One Ring, and I think it is a shame that the One Ring is basically no text. And it seems they have buffed it. they buffed it after that, it seems. But it didn't give you protection from everything. It didn't draw cards. It did something very. It might have been an equipment. It might not have been an equipment. Okay, opponent's on a mold of 5, and I can play a ring on turn 2. I know it was definitely 5 mana. But I'll take the blame, because I did say, hey, this is the One Ring. Maybe this could be a good card to do something. Did it have the Rings Tempts You? Yeah, I actually think it did not use the Ring Tempts You mechanic. Which was very funny. Oh, I also wrote like this long. I remember writing this long thing about how I really was not a fan of the Ring Tempts You mechanic in Constructed. And like there's a few cards like Sauron's Ransom where I'm like, this card looks kind of constructed playable. Maybe we just shouldn't have Ring Tempts You on this card. I really did not want any Ring Tempts You cards to be modern playable, and they weren't, which is great. All right, good mold of 4 for our opponent. Who else has a bad mechanic in limited? I don't know. I mean, there are plenty of playable Ring Tempts You cards. Call the Ring is playable? No, not really. It's like a lot worse than the new one that like mills 3. Put one of them into your hand. But these cards that are just like these cards like the enter the dungeon mechanics, Monarch initiative. I don't like these cards that make you pick up like this whole like booklet to read and understand what they do. I think they're like pretty. I just kind of don't like them in general. I think that they should maybe be or have not been made. I don't feel like super passionately about it, I guess, but just not a fan. So this is 7. So let's say 7 plus 5 is 12, 13, 14. If I plus on my Mind Stone, I could absorb 2, and then I still die. Plus a Mind Stone, block here, take 5, down to 8. Not dead. Tribal Flames. Tribal Flames. Sorry. Take 5, down to 8. Tribal Flames, down to 3, take 2. Okay. Seems we found a line. GG Snuckle. Yeah, that Sea Gate. We were. Some people have been questioning the Sea Gate Wreckage. Play map plus a map. We have to plus a Mind Stone because the Nakato has trample, so we need to absorb 2 points of damage instead of 1 to not be dead to flames. And next turn I can sack map with Ugin's Lab, get Tron, cast All Is Dust, or I can just Karn for another ring. Could we have gone for Tron All Is Dust? Am I missing something? What you're missing is that was our turn 3, and we had already played our 3rd land, and so we couldn't have also played our 4th land at the same turn. I'm not that good to play. Yeah, I don't even have 2 Explorers. Topping ring was maybe wrong then. Maybe. We're alive through the Tribal Flame, so it was right. But we could have tried to... did we draw the Karn off the ring? Because if we didn't, we could have just gone Karn plus and passed, maybe. Okay, but now I could die to flames. So I think we're going to go for another ring here this turn, probably. And then Chalice on 1. I guess also play a map before we Chalice on 1. Oh, no, sorry. We should probably play around good old Stubborn Denial, though. Chalice on 2. Well, we can't Chalice on 2 and ring this turn. But we can next turn Chalice on 2. And, can we Chalice on 2 and All Is Dust? We'll have 9, 8, we'll have 7 plus 9, plus 4. 7 plus 4, so 11 mana, which is exactly enough to All Is Dust and Chalice on 2. But not enough to break her first. So I'm probably not tapping this ring. I'm going to lose the card. The Ragavan is the last card in hand too, so we're playing around top decks. Right. The couldn't have had stub. Still, I think this is the line. Opponent decides, keep your Karn. Keep it. Maybe I should have Chalice on 2 first. Guess that probably makes sense. Well, 180. Let's just gain 11 life. I don't know why I got Trinisphere. I just whatever. This new rat, do you think it's playable? Not really. I do love Ward 2. I always liked Ward 2 on a card, but and like the tokens it makes are pretty big, but the condition of only triggering on your end step when your opponent's creatures die is awkward. Instant speed removal, have to kill it on your turn sometimes, a little bit awkward. Pretty slow card, like four mana card that like just takes so long to get you value. But yeah, I don't think I have any like super good stories about So I could play Temple turn 1 to try to turn 2 Seer, or I could play this on turn 1 to try to turn 3 Tron. We'll just play turn 1 Temple. Did I see Bowmasters as is? I did see Bowmasters as is, and I thought it was like pretty fine. Um, Especially because like when we were consulting, like the best card draw spell in Modern by a lot was Expressive Iteration. Um, and there were like very few other like cards that actually said draw a card on them that were playable in Modern. Um, and so as at like when we were consulting, I remember being like, yeah, this kind of doesn't line up well against most things in the format. And then they printed the ring, last second as is, and I'm trying to remember. So the main thing was like Lurrus Bauble. That was kind of the main thing it could punish because Lurrus was still legal during consulting. I mean, you hated Ragavan. I mean, being good against Ragavan is nice. Ragavan was legal too. Got 3 Myers in the yard. I like Beseem Ring deck, but matchup against Mono Black Necro is horrific, almost unwinnable. Maybe, I don't know. I've only played it twice, but I haven't lost to it yet. It might be bad, yeah. Okay, so I guess we get to go Thought-Knot Seer, and then hopefully Chalice on 2 next turn wins me this game. So they have 2 Rows, because we're just easily taking this ritual. The red triggers an opponent's turn as well. Okay, that makes it a lot better. That makes it a lot better. But honestly, I even though the Bowmaster is a lot better now in Modern than like when we were consulting on it, I think Bowmasters is like a really good thing to have in the format. I think it does a pretty good job of policing cards like the Ring in Ragavan. Okay, so Caverns in, Swamp out, Trinisphere in, too slow to get it off Karn. All his dust's out. I bring in Tormod's Crypt. What am I getting with Karn, I guess? Maybe I should still leave this in. So Karn, like, I can just go Tron, Karn, Trinisphere. I guess I have to leave it in. I could bring in Sundering Titan. I could bring in Emrakul. Emrakul's a fun one to bring in. Just wins the game. Would be a little slow. Maybe I should play Dismembers. Yeah, let's do Dismembers. Well, this is a turn 2 Chalice on 2. So I'm not going to click the mulligan button. But we're on the draw, so it could be too slow. How does this version feel compared to the green one? Early impressions. Well, I think I like the green build better still. It's like... I do wish I could play Chalice on 1 first because of Static Prison. It's early, yeah. So the thing, what's great about mono green is that you're just so much better against hate cards. Your curve is so low, and like your like Trinisphere is so good in your deck with all your land destruction, and the deck just feels pretty clean. Although I guess I could say that I'm a little bit less like I want to play more than 0 Breaker of Creations in mono green, but I don't know. I don't think I want to play 4. I want to figure out a split. Emrakul over Breaker, still pitches the Labyrinth. Maybe. Breaker, it's also just cheaper, Breaker's just cheaper, kills them. Thoughts on gift a card? I like the gift mechanic. I think that it is definitely more geared towards multiplayer than single player or 1v1, but I like it. More thoughts on the territory color set 5 Eldrazi. I think it's interesting. I think you could try a split. I don't know. I don't think that card's great, but it could end up impressing. It's one that we probably should give a go to. I think. But I do think I prefer Wumpus just for mana curve considerations. Yeah, probably playing another Chalice on 2. Maybe Storm does suck. Not a bad draw. I guess I could have played the ring first. Could have hit a Tron piece. Have they even win here? They're going to need multiple static prisons. Assuming that that's what they're on because they're on the white splash. All right, so we have 4, 5, 6, 7 Eldrazi mana. Oh wait, sorry, there's a Mind Stone. Maybe it's better to Karn Trinisphere. It doesn't seem like there's a really... Like, if we do this first, Karn Trinisphere next turn means they can't cast any spells. And just... I just don't know how they can have any static prisons in their hand at all here. Storm plays Flage? Yeah, sometimes. This makes me think Pending is better against hate pieces than Static Prison Storm deck. Well, I don't know. Static Prison would be as good as Pending in the spot, right? Yeah, Breaker is so good. Just card's really wild. Okay, so lost a close one to our Dimir Basim deck, and then 4-1 very smoothly the rest of the time. I do think this build is good. I think that this build is better than the Emrakul build. Like, just not playing Saga, not playing Cookbook, frees up so many spots in the deck. You don't have to choose between Chalice and Mind Stone. Breaker is also like a card you like definitely want to play for Breaker at the very least. The Emrakul is powerful, but it just makes you build your deck in such an awkward way. What is Doom playing today? Skelemental Nightmares.